Hello everyone, and welcome to my first ever What If Deku. Um, this What If Deku is what if Deku had a tree quirk. We start off this story during Inko's pregnancy with Izuku. Info on Inko Midoriya. Age 23, quirk Drendokinesis. She has the capability to take hold on anything wooden. She hasn't trained in a few years, so she can only lift small, thin roots of a tree and up to a basic wooden chair's weight. She was asleep. She was asleep one day when randomly she woke up feeling sick to her stomach. She got up and threw up in the toilet. This woke up Hisashi, who got up to check upon Inko. Info on Hisashi Midoriya. Age 24. Quirk Tree Sprout. He has the capability to grow a tree out of anywhere he touches with the intent to grow a tree. It quickly, within a few minutes, can reach 50 meters into the air. I'm using meters because, yes, I would normally use feet, but whatever, I'm going to use meters. But in order to do so, its cost is that the tree is rather weak, thus cannot withstand a lot of weight. And with anything higher than 300 pounds, it would snap the tree entirely. Hisashi would knock on the door and ask, "Honey, are you alright in there? Are you okay?" Inko would throw up a bit more, then respond, "I'm not sure," and then throw up again. Hisashi would begin to worry a bit, and tries to talk to Inko a bit more. "Honey, should I come in?" After a few moments of waiting with no response, he opens the door. "Inko?" he would ask in a confused manner. "I'm pregnant!" Inko exclaims, hugging Hisashi. Hisashi's panic turns to joy rather quickly as he lifts Inko into the air. Saying, "I'm so happy, I'm gonna be a father. What should we name them? I wonder what their quirk will be." He sets Inko down, then hugs her tightly. 9-month time skip. We cut back into the story 9 months after, to Inko in the hospital giving birth to Izuku. One of the doctors said, "Come on, just a bit further. Push, push." Inko screams out in pain, and she finally finishes. We will now go do the checkups. We will be right back," a doctor says, leaving the room with the just-born Izuku. After the tests and cleaning, they are perplexed with one simple fact. Izuku's hands are pulling any non-lethal objects made of wood to Izuku, but then also making them larger, which heavily confuses most of the doctors in the room. Then one ends the confusion saying, "Well, I guess he was born with his quirk." It also seems that his quirk knows which things are deadly and which are not, and is pulling the non-deadly things towards him, then growing them. Interesting. Anyways, we have finished the tests, so we should go bring the healthy boy back to the parents. As he finishes, the rest of the doctors agree, as they bring Izuku to Inko and Hisashi. "He's a healthy baby boy, and seems to have been born with his quirk, Inko. Your quirk is Drendokinesis, correct?" Inko replies, saying, "Yes, that is correct." "And Hisashi," the doctor says, turning to Hisashi, "your quirk is Tree Sprout, correct?" "Yep, you are right," Hisashi replies. The doctor then says, "Well, your son has a sort of combination of both of your quirks. He can so far pull small, non-lethal wooden objects towards him, similar to your Drendokinesis quirk, Inko. But here's the difference to Hisashi's quirk, or so it seems so far. Unlike you, Hisashi, he can grow any wooden object he gets a grip on." Inko and Hisashi look at the doctor shocked, and yet also in awe. Then they look at Izuku in awe and pride. "So we will have an amazing son," they say, looking up at the doctor, then at each other. 3-year time skip. We continue this story off with 3 years having passed. We come back to Izuku watching the All Might video, which he frequently watched. "Mom, Dad, do you guys think I would be able to save people like All Might does?" he asks, feeling down for some reason. "Well, Izuku," Hisashi says, "you can, if you are willing to train and learn how to use your quirk more efficiently. Just know, it will be a long process before you can use your quirk without having major troubles, Inko replies, saying, when it comes... Inko replies saying, when it comes to people with our quirk type, we can save people from getting hurt by anything wooden. Or, in your father's case, growing a tree directly in the line of fire of a villain. But with your quirk, you're not limited. Even the doctors don't have a full idea on what your quirk will do yet. So if it turns out to be much stronger than it already is, then yes, I am sure you would be able to be an amazing hero. Izuku gets up, pausing the video, hugs both his mom and dad, saying, I hope I can be an amazing hero just like All Might. Izuku begins tearing up happily that his parents believe in history. 1 year time skip. When we get back, Izuku is now 4 and is nervous about going to kindergarten. But Inko and Tasashi tell him, you have nothing to worry about. You will be just fine. Just remember, be open and outgoing to people. If you can befriend the people in your class, you will have a much easier time going into school than if you aren't and make no new friends. Izuku, no longer worried, but instead hyped up, says, I won't let this chance go to waste. I will try to be the friendliest person there. Inko giggles as the three-person family all hug. Then Izuku and Inko begin driving to the kindergarten class. You ready? She says, turning to Izuku, who she can see has become nervous again. Izuku, you don't have anything to worry about. Everyone here is nice. As long as you're nice, they'll be nice. Alright, Mom, he stutters, then hugs Inko tightly. As they walk to the door of the classroom, Inko knocks on the door. Hello? She says, opening the door, to see a large group of kindergartners staring at her. As she then says, I'm here to drop off Izuku. The teacher replies, saying, yes, come in. Class, this is Inko and Izuku Midoriya. Say hi. The class says hi, excitedly, due to them having a new student. Hi, Izuku replies, still stuttering. Remember, Izuku, Inko says to reassure Izuku, you have nothing to worry about. As long as you're nice, they'll be nice. Several kids from the class proceed to walk up to Izuku, each one greeting him. But one particular kid Izuku took a liking to, saying, Hey, my name is Katsuki Bakugo. What's yours? My name's... He looks up to his mom, who nods at him to continue. Izuku Midoriya. Nice to meet you, Katchan. Is it okay if I call you that? Bakugo looks at Izuku, then into the air, then nods saying, Yeah, sure. You seem like someone who would be fun to hang out with, but I will not let anyone else call me that. It's something only you can call me. Now, I know what all of you are thinking. Bakugo, he's not an asshole? He's not a jerk? Well, quite simply, Bakugo isn't that much of an asshole in this one because he doesn't have quite as much pride, for now at least. But he will still not have as much as he had in canon. And he never thinks that Izuku's looking down on him. Whenever Izuku tries to help him, Izuku and Katsuki will become very good friends in this one. And when Bakugo gets his quirk, he and Izuku will train with each other. But also, Izuku won't be quite as much of a wimp. Or in other words, he won't be quite as spineless as he was in canon. And also, Bakugo never gives Izuku the name Deku. But that doesn't mean that Bakugo won't say that he was fine and didn't need help. At least for when others are around. When they are alone, he will thank Izuku for coming to help, and specifically when he falls off the log, that he was merely acting tough, and that he wasn't hurt to show that he was brave and strong, and says that he is proud of Izuku for coming down to check on him. Izuku simply replies with, You know, Bakugo, this is why I look up to you. You never let anyone other than me see when you're hurt. And so I can always tell. but try not to embarrass you too much. So just know, if I will be with you just in case you can't keep up the actual lie. You also made me get much braver. You know, Kachan, Izuku says, showing Bakugo his quirk, saying, I've actually always had my quirk. I just didn't want to show you this until I saw your personality. And that inspired me to get braver, which made me brave enough to tell you this fact. Really? That's amazing, Izuku. I can't believe I became friends with someone who was born with their awesome quirk. You and I are going to be such good heroes when we grow up. Cut to when Bakugo and his goons would normally have been bullying a girl at the park. Instead, we have Bakugo and Izuku come up to Canon Bakugo's goons bullying a small girl. Izuku would run in front of them saying, You bullies, why are you bullying her? What did she ever do to you? If you don't stop this right now, I will make you stop. Pulling his arms out around him. Around him, bark and the inner wood of the trees began going to his arms. The bark in rounded square chunks, and all the potential slivers were put back into the tree, to make sure that no one was hurt by any of the slivers. And the inner wood in rounded diamonds, forming gauntlets, a helmet, and boots. All the bullies then backed off, not wanting to try punching a kid covered in wood, or being hit or kicked by the wooden boots/gauntlets. Yeah, you better run, Izuku says, turning to the kid he just saved. Hey, are you alright? Are you hurt? The kid just says no, and then thanks Izuku for taking care of the bullies and saying, By the way, you have an awesome quirk. I wish I had an amazing quirk like that. Don't talk about yourself like that. Any quirk can be amazing if you learn how to use it right. I mean, take a look at me. I only ever had the capability to pull small, never dangerous wooden objects to me when I first got my quirk. When I was born, I mean, he would whisper. When I was born, I mean, he would whisper. And if I can be this awesome now, then I think that when you get older, that you will have an amazing quirk. This girl that Izuku saved was none other than the floating queen herself, Ochako Uraraka. Izuku walks up to Bakugo, who says, Wow, Izuku, I never knew that you got that brave. You just stood up for a girl to 5 bullies, and none of them even tried to fight you. Well, that will be the end of part 1. I need to do a bit more story writing, so after I have finished writing the story, I will make a part 2. Until then, I will see you guys next time.